last time we took a look at what was easily some of the worst films of not just the entire year, but some of the worst the decade had to offer. This time, we'll be looking into the films of 2025 that were good. Well, there were definitely a lot of bad films. When the films of 2025 were great, they were amazing. So, just like how like the worst list, this was not an easy list to do. In fact, I was close to doing what I was originally going to do last year by doing a top 20 instead of a top 10. But I think, but with all the films that came out, and the fact that I was running late on doing both of these lists, I figured it was just better to do it. Maybe next year though, if we get another lot of amazing things for films, but that doesn't change the fact that there have been so many amazing films that have released this year, and it's up to me to decide which one and what are the films this year that made 2025 I've worth sitting through. I'm Charlie Lipinski, and welcome to the top 10 best movies of 2025. Number 10, The Naked Gun. Remakes have become a lot when remakes, reboots, you name it, they've become a lot more common. So when Paramount decided to bring in Police Squad back for a Naked Gun remake, they made sure to do the best they can. And while the film doesn't really have enough of qualities to put it higher than all the other films that we've got on this list, it's the best. The real isn't how this is managed to get onto the top 10, and it's how it managed to become the funniest movie of 2025. I'm not kidding when I say that I haven't laughed this hard at a movie in a long time. The fit for non-stop humor and comedy, and most if not all the jokes land. And it's one of those films where the more you watch it, the more you discover for a new joke that you find it's just hilarious. But on top of that, it does make up for some of the film's weak elements. Sure, the story itself isn't great, but it's not meant to be the main priority, and just lets its humor take in control. Sure, the characters don't have much development, but they do a good job of being the main ones that would supply the comment. What I'll find dropping in your takeover Police Squad didn't make the year's best film, and he did it and of having an adventure that easily became the funniest movie of the year. Number 9, The Bad Guys 2. It has been 3 years since these crooks first released themselves onto the big screen. And now that they're back trying to good, they managed to make a sequel that was bigger and better than the predecessor. So what helps the Bad Guys' second adventure to be more or awesome than the first is it easily comes to the goals of the characters. It's noticeable how much that these guys want to be seen Ian's good. Guys, and are struggling to get a reputation. Sure, the story itself, Elfin's not the most original thing in the world. But the fact Elm is aware of that, and the execution managed to take extended state. Hey, whether it be with some fun and comedy that keeps the film entertaining throughout. A cast the lovable characters delivered by fantastic voice acting, incredible and exciting animation, and probably some of the craziest and intense action scenes of the year. Yeah, I've definitely had a lot of action highlights this year. But the bad guys were able to make so many intense action scenes that seem equal to the. I'm very heavily fully invested of everything that was going on, leading to an insane and an exciting climax that leaves me on the edge of my seat every time. These guys might be known as bad, but the movies that they're able to release are anything but. Number 8, Avatar: Fire and Ash. Yeah. Insane. James Cameron still has a lot more ideas with his Avatar franchise. It was only a matter of time that this film made it quit. It came out after a 3-year gap between this and The Way of Water. And what is the base for this is the best of the trilogy. It didn't change the fact that this was still a fantastic adventure. What this film does to make it stand out is to expand on elements from the previous films, while it can be seen as copying its own ideas, because as the way the story goes around, and it is actually quite creative, expanding on plot points from the previous 2 films and making them seem bigger and better. On top of that, I think this goes up without saying that this film offers some of the best visuals of the year. With all the big CGI spectacles, the intense action scenes, the beautiful cinematography, and the old and new areas of Pandora that we explore. I wouldn't be surprised if this film manages to win in Best Visual Effect at the Oscars this year. Yeah. I'll admit that its 3-hour runtime will not be for everyone, and there will be some people that won't be able to get through that. And I do think that as much as the marketing was trying to promote her, to perform becomes secondary in the second. I could have one actually eventually teams up with orange, but those problems are quite minor. Maybe it's not the Pandora's best adventure, but for the event. And so we did have it was one that managed to burn bright. Right, number 7, for Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. After the 3 years since he and Netflix created a stop-motion animated feat, each with his adaptation of Pinocchio, Guillermo del Toro returned on to do another adaptation with the story of Frankenstein. I managed to make a spectacular creation out of it. It makes Frankenstein one of the director's best efforts it's just that you can tell how much passion he had for the story, bringing it to light. I think new ways. As well, making this film it'll look visually gorgeous. On top of that, this film offers some of the best acting of the year. Sure, Jacob Elordi was a huge star, and in this film it was the creature, but Oscar Isaacs killed it out of the pot. With his performance is thick. That I wouldn't be surprised if it at least gives him an Oscar nomination. Should not on that, but the way it expands different areas of the Frankenstein and Lawrence story is highly creative, and the way it gives life to these personalities is well done. And I'll say, however, that I do think the film focused a bit too much on Victor's side of the story. When making the creature side of the story, we see we're not all given all the materials it needs to shine, but that's only a really minor critique. Netflix was able to help Guillermo del Toro give his creation life, and they managed to give life to a spectacular monster. Number 6, Predator Badlands. As 2025 was a great time for the Predator fan, as when they were given not one, but two Predator films. Both of them were amazing. And I was originally thinking of possibly putting Killer of Killers on here, but as awesome as that feature is I don't think that film managed to stand out as well much as the cinematic turns of the Predator. What makes Badlands stand out is that it does something that none of the other Predator films have done before, and that is making the Archer himself the main character, as it focuses on a young Archer called Dead, who's been exiled from his clan, but wants to prove himself as a great warrior. While hunted that most dangerous predator known as the Kalisk. As such, as the film has a really engaging story that has you invested with the events and begin to end, and with some fantastic CGI visuals leaving forth to some intense and some incredible action scenes that you would expect from a Predator film. It also has some really great characters, not just with Deck himself, with his robotic companion, and Tia, who while her comedy can sometimes feel out of place, is still a wonderful addition to the cast. As there have been any amazing adventures with the Predator before or this one, but this one was easily the strongest Predator of them all. Number 5, Ninja 2. One of the biggest surprises that happened at the beginning of this year is how this little animated sequel from Iron Man is coming. It's not just become the highest grossing animated film of all time, but to be the first one to cross over $2 billion. And after seeing the film for myself, it's clearly understandable as to why. I definitely thought the first one was great, but not only is this a massive improvement, but it's also so a fantastic sequel. While its comedy will definitely not be for everyone, the film makes up for it with its really rich and intense, it's an incredible storytelling, how it expands the legends of Nezha, I make sure it's presented in the best way possible. On top of that, the animation feels bigger and better. So, which is most noticeable in the action scenes, is offering some of the best and exciting action you get from an animated film. This year. But they do a great job of making the moments seem big. And it also so really helps that the film has a really strong cast of characters, especially when it gives development to the characters from the previous films, which is especially the case with Nezha, especially I just held back in this one. I just share. Him try his best as to be either great a hero or that I need. It's definitely not a film many people were expecting to become the new highest grossing animated feature of all time. Especially since most of it was made from China. So, but Najam managed to stack it epic with his set. I could event and to be a real your demon who was also so an awesome one. Number 4, one battle after another. But I wouldn't be worth doing this what? Including one of the big main end features that many people are calling best. Yeah, there are many different films that have gotten huge praise, but I don't think any of them have gotten the same amount of praise as this one, and it's clearly understandable as to why. What makes one battle after another for such a fantastic follow-up of his what makes one battle after another such a fantastic film is how it has a really big story. There's a lot that is happening in each to the point where the main conflict doesn't really come in until the hour mark. And yeah, it never does it feel like the film is going slow. It's getting through all of its elements quite quickly, but not in a way that feels too rushed either. So you're able to keep up with everything that's going on. And don't feel like the film is dragging at any moment. On top of that, the film has some incredible production value used with its visuals. Was making the area pretty big, even throwing in some subtle comedy, which is maybe not the funniest movie of the year, but it does do a good job to keep the event and highly engaging. And on top of that, the characters were handled really well. Even if they may not have the most clear personalities, the actors were easily knocking it out of the park, especially with Leonardo DiCaprio's spot of delivering an amazing performance. I'll admit, I haven't really seen much of the director's previous works, so it would be unfair for me to call this is better. As one, since I only need to see all of his other works, just to be sure. But it doesn't change the fact that I did it's better. I still managed to deliver one amazing moment after another. Number 3, Wicked for Good. Last year, many people had an amazing time on the adaptation of the first Aardstakker musical. Also, when Elphaba and decided to complete their story, or I'll put myself in the camp and for people that actually think that the sequel is better than the original. Or a reason why is how it does expand the story and lore of Oz. Oz making the story in big and grand, and what also be telling a bit of the original Wizards of Oz story, which I'm glad that doesn't take full centre stage, and it's more like a backdrop of added into the feature. On top of that, the film keeps the emotional strength and for the first feature, and that is the relationship between Elphaba and Glinda. Now that they're seen as the Good Witch of the North and the Wicked Witch of the West, as their new paths collide, are to the point where their friendship is really put to the test. As the two who have to come up at the start, and it won't be as perfect as it was before. Not to mention that how this film has a fantastic supporting cast, whether it be with the more agonistic role, also like the Wizard and Admirable, or also under my characters just like Bob Harkness Rose, all the loving interest as the Arrow. Well, there have been in many adventures that have been in the land of Oz, but this as well as its predecessor, as it managed to change the world of Oz for good. Number 2, K-pop Demon Hunters. Yeah, Ne Zha 2 wasn't the only big massive animated feature that was released this year. Yes, and this one not only became the biggest animated film on Netflix, but one of the biggest movies in streaming history. And as you can tell, I'm definitely in the hype camp for this film. On the surface, it seems like it has some elements that would make a strong feature. So I saw all this story about K-pop or group battling demons, and some incredible and intense animation, likable and charming characters, and may I add a phenomenal musical soundtrack. Seriously, some of the best songs of the year can easily be found within this film. But the reason why I have this one really high on the list is that how it offers a lot more than you might think. On the surface, it seems like a solid little animated K-pop film. But when you actually dig into it, it has a strong, powerful emotional core. And that's mainly shown through the protagonist, Umi, who's not only one of the best characters we've got this year, but also one of the most tragic. She battles with her own demon action. She knows that if revealed, it could us bring a rift between her and her friends, Mira and Zoe. She has to try keep them hidden, and which helps her with the main charge of the boy and Nemesis if as the two have a lot more in common than they first think. And it does a great job of strengthening in the emotional core. There haven't really been that many movie musicals also released this year that I've taken much interest. Eston. But luckily, Huntrix was able to come in through the summer to show those musicals how it's done. Now, before we get into the best film of the year, I'd like to have a few honourable mentions. Like I said before, I was really tempted of making this a top 20 best films of the year. It was how many amazing films we've gotten. But of course, what's plans change. But either way, it doesn't change the fact that at this time and we are maybe not all part of the top 10, and we're still fantastic features in their own right. And in order how I'd rank them from number 20 to number 11, then the honourable mentions are Carrie Elo. Starts off as a sweet little dog film, but delivers a strong emotional core throughout. Anaconda, maybe not the best film of the year, but one of those I had the most fun with. Tron on Aries is one of the year's underrated films, as well as easily the best Tron movie. The Black Phone 2. Blumhouse has been hit and miss, but at least it is the sequel turned out to be their best film. Ballerina, it managed to give us a great return into the world of John, on which with an event, and that I hope they decide to continue out the rest of this John Wick universe. Predator, Killer of Killers. Like I said earlier, I was tempted to put this on the list, especially how it was just us as awesome as Badlands. And even if I think that one is slightly better, Zootropolis to also Zootopia to you you guys in America, well, are not as good as the original, almost I do think it played itself a bit safe. It doesn't change the fact that this is still a worthy continuation to the world of Zootropolis. As Elliot, easily with the most underrated animated feature of the year, it definitely deserves a fan following. F1, and you have no idea how much I really wanted to put this one on the top 10, and just how it is easily one of my favourite feel-good movies that was released this year. Yeah, and finally, the Fantastic Four first. It's not only the best Fantastic Four offer, but easily a strong start to phase A6 of the MCU. Speaking of which, the number one best movie of 2025 is Thunderbolts, aka the New Avengers. I'm not gonna lie, I had a few doubts when I first saw the trailers for this film. Not because it looked bad, but because I wasn't really sure if it would live up to some of the other films in the MCU. But when I gave this a watch back in May, I was surprised with how much I ended up loving it. The film offers a very, very strong story with a dig deeper into mental health. Unlike most of the previous Marvel films, this one puts its action aside. It doesn't try to be a big blockbuster, but wants to tell a really rich and powerful story of mental health. It's noticeable that all these characters in this group have dealt with different mental health problems. So the story is character driven, but giving personality to all these characters that I haven't seen as amazing MCU characters, but I easily became them after watching this film. I'm not kidding when I say that this film is from a character I couldn't care too much about to one of my favourite MCU characters with her its personality. And the fantastic performance that Florence Pugh delivered. But not to mention how it has a really incredible antagonist with Bob, aka Entry. He was the main reason why this film became the #1 best of the year, because his arc and his connection to everything going on, as well as the writing, easily made him one of the year's most complex excellent, interesting antagonists. It's one that you really want the best out of. With a character you kind of feel sorry for, but even though it's almost the big MCU moments are put to the side, that doesn't mean they're still amazing when they happen. Whether for it be with the visuals still looking as great as ever, for all the exciting action, which not as big as some of the other MCU films, is still intense and some ripping throughout. I've definitely been in on some amazing adventures with the films we've gotten this year. But you late ain't a man, and it's for of this team of under the dogs of superheroes or anti-heroes to offer the type of film I needed. And that's why Thunderbolts, aka The New Avengers, is the #1 best film of 2025. And that's all I've got for the top 10 and best movies of 2025. Honestly, when the films were good this year, they were amazing. And I was glad to go over all of them. So, what have we got for 2026? Well, I've already seen quite a couple that have come. And we've actually had a few amazing ones, especially with 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple. But as for some of the other films, I'm really excited to see where the MCU goes with both Spider-Man, Brand New Day, and Doomsday. I'm really cautiously optimistic about how Gold that was my most wait-and-see movie of the year. Yeah, Marcy looks okay. I'm curious about that one that comes out later this week. I'm hoping Hoppers is better than all the trailers I've been seeing about it. Sunrise on the Reaping seems like it could actually be a decent little for the Hunger Games franchise. Looks like the Minions are returning for the third film, and so that could be fun, and if not unnecessary. I don't think we really need a Toy Story 5, but maybe this film can prove me wrong. I'm really curious to see what Christopher Nolan is cooking up with the Odyssey. He seemed Upagon Clayface seem like they're going to be great continuations into the DC universe. As I am beyond excited for what we've gotten with Doom in Part 3 coming. Now being out at the end of the year. Yeah. And we've also got that animated Disney film called Hack. That seems like it could be pretty good. Especially with all the different movies that we've got coming this year. It's gonna take a wonderful guy like me to cover them all. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Feel free to comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye!